5 years ago, THQ released an interesting sounding game where North and South Korea got back together and took over the United States via a surprise attack. While the story was pretty cool, the game didn't turn out quite as well. So, it's kind of surprising that this new game, set 4 years after the original in a still heavily occupied Philadelphia, was being created. If you've played any first-person shooter over the past 10 years, then you know exactly what to expect here. No one is buying this game for the gameplay. You're getting it because of the interesting world these teams have created. I'm cautiously optimistic that something good can come from this one. The first major story DLC for our 2015 Game of the Year, Fallout 4, releases this week, and it seems interesting. Bethesda is hyping this as being the largest area they've ever created for DLC, which makes sense when you see the retail for this bad boy sitting at 25 bones. Outside of getting to explore the coast of Maine, this DLC adds new high-level weapons, armor, enemies, and settlements for you to explore. The Fallout DLC has always been great, but it's been releasing at a fever pace. Are you guys ready to dive back in already? This side-scrolling action game with a great 90s arcade style makes its way to the PS4 this week. Using classic arcade beat-em-up gameplay, you are tasked with finding and saving 100 people trapped in a mansion, who get harder to save the longer you stay alive. To do this, you will equip yourself with one of 60 weapons scattered throughout the levels. There's also a pretty cool system that turns your gameplay achievements into bonuses that you can use on future runs. It's mindless, cheap, and should provide a few hours of retro-fueled fun. Let's take a trip down memory lane. If you aren't aware, Shadow of the Beast is a remake of a game from the late 1980s that released on the Amiga and then the Sega Genesis. My time with the original was spent on the Genesis, and while it didn't light my world on fire, its run-and-punch gameplay did stick with me. This new game isn't a quick remake either. It's a ground-up reimagining with high-quality graphics and animation that brings Shadow of the Beast back to life exclusively on the PS4. As one of what I can only assume is a handful of people that have played this game back in the day, I'm definitely going to check it out. If you're into stealth games, then the latest game from the studio behind the Trine series might be right up your alley. Taking place in a medieval world, you play the role of Shadwen, an assassin out to slay a king. You will use physics, traps, a rope, and general stealth mechanics to work your way through this one. I'm not huge on stealth games, but there's some neat looking stuff going on here that is worth taking a look at. The final game this week is Duskers, which is a crazy looking game that has you piloting drones through broke down spaceships in a seemingly dead universe. There are a few things that have me intrigued about this one. First, the visual style is amazing and really captures the tone that the story seems to be telling. Second, the gameplay seems really engaging, and when combined with a die and lose everything procedurally generated world, should create some pretty solid atmosphere. I'm really curious about this one and can't wait to check it out and then talk about it on the Block Party this week. Speaking of which, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can see this series as well as all the videos we produce the second they release. I'm Jason, this is AllertonAve.com.